Hello, my name is Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer, the #1 financial analysis software tool in the self-storage industry. And I help people who are getting in the self-storage business, and I help people who are in the self-storage business and want to grow their business strategically purchase self-storage facilities in such a way that it creates true wealth and a fulfilling career. And show me the money. You know, it's kind of funny, as a buyer of self-storage facilities, which I've been for a number of years, I'm actually used to hearing sellers and agents say that to me. Now, in today's climate, we're going to take advantage of the high prices and we're going to sell one of our facilities. And I find myself now saying that to the buyer. And when I first heard it, when I got into business, I didn't have a clue where the money was coming from. I didn't have a clue whose money I was going to use. How I started purchasing storage facilities was I would find one that I liked and work financially. I would put it under contract. We'd go apply for the loan. I would go start the due diligence process. And then I'd put a package together and I would present that package to investors. We usually could close on the property. Now, I'm not necessarily recommending that as a strategy, although it does work. It does create a lot of sleepless nights, and I have lost a good faith deposit or two. But all in all, it's worked for us pretty well. Now, here's something I've learned. If you go that route, you're going to develop a couple of skill sets that most self-storage owners never have to develop. One is how to relate to investors, and two is how to be a good partner. And here's what I've learned. Investors are not that interested in you. They're really just not interested in you. They may be interested in your skill sets and what you can provide, but investors primarily want to be good stewards of their money. They want to know what is the risk of investing with you and what is the return and how sure is the return that you say they can get. How sure are they that they're going to get it? That's what they're interested in. Once they get that, then they're interested in what your skill sets are. Then they're interested in what your experience is. And here's the thing. You have the best story in the commercial real estate investment world there is. You have the self-storage story. Self-storage is absolutely, unequivocally the best asset investment class that there is for commercial real estate. There are so few pressures and so few variables on the net operating income line, you can project cash flows extremely accurately. Not just values, net operating incomes, but distributable cash. Because the difference between the net operating income and what you can distribute in cash is almost identical, because there are so few pressures on the net operating income line. There's no tenant improvements, there's no commissions, carpets, paint, sinks to replace. None of that. Now, if you didn't understand what I just said, that's fine. Read the book, Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage. Watch a lot of the video education at creatingwealththroughselfstorage.com, or use the other resources out there. But that is the self-storage story. And once an investor gets that, and if they're a sophisticated investor, they will get that. Once they get that, now they're very interested in you and what you can provide them. Here's the thing. In self-storage, we can quantify the risk through a feasibility report, and we can project very accurately what we're going to pay investors in cash flow. Very few other asset classes, if any, have that ability. You do in the self-storage business. Now, when I first got going, I created a story about myself. You need to create your story. My story was, I started as a commercial real estate agent, and I was heavily involved in the office market. And then in 1995, I started working with REITs in the self-storage business, and I fell in love with self-storage. I saw the perfection of self-storage as an investment class, and it outperformed all the others I was involved with, like retail, office, multifamily. I got it. Then I went out and started buying my own. Now that's my story. You create your story. Here's the thing, human beings, all people relate to stories. We tell each other stories. That's how we learn, that's how we relate. Investors are no different. They want to hear your story. So create your story that highlights your skill sets. And here's the thing. Everybody who raises money to buy self-storage facilities always started with their first facility. And when everybody starts with their first facility, they don't have a lot of experience. They don't have a lot of history. That's just the way it is. You can use the statistics of the industry. That's what I did. I knew what the stabilized occupancy was. I had access to that through the Self-Storage Association. In fact, I told investors early on, we're going to design our facilities to appeal to women because women make 7 out of 10 leasing decisions when it comes to self-storage. I had just read that a month or so earlier in the Self-Storage Almanac. But it sounded good. Investors didn't know that, and they began to develop confidence in our ability to see a good investment and to run a good investment. And here's the thing. When you tell an investor you're going to do something, do it. Just do it. If you tell an investor, I'm going to pay you 4% cash on cash return year 1, 8% year 2, and 12% years 3 through 5, and then at the end of year 5, I'm going to give you all your initial investment capital back, do it. You will know what you can do. You will know what the cash flow is going to be in year 3, year 4, year 5 because it's self-storage. There's very few differences between net operating income and distributable cash. We've never had to pull money out of our operating account to pay a capital improvement. You can't say that with any other investment vehicle other than self-storage. So if you're interested in using other people's money to grow your business, begin to develop your story and begin to learn how to analyze a self-storage facility. There are a lot of resources out there to support you. We have a lot at creatingwealththroughselfstorage.com. I particularly invite you to watch the second video of the three video series on how to buy self-storage in today's competitive market. We go into detail on how to analyze a facility and what the business assumptions are. So next week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what you will show investors exactly to get the self-storage story to them and get the story of you and your investment opportunity. So thank you for watching this. My name is Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer, the #1 financial analysis software tool in the self-storage business.